Let's go across the pond. This is a long-awaited series, and it's finally here. The two-game set between the Cubs and the Cardinals that takes place in London at London Stadium. Cubs had 2 days off. The teams had some time to prepare for this one, and it was a game that was postponed because of what happened with COVID. We're taking a look at how they were able to convert London Stadium into a ballpark. Now, the time before this, the fences were closer in. They moved center field back 7 feet this time to hopefully allow for fewer home runs because the Yankees Red Sox series, I think, lasted 24 hours per game. I'm kidding, but it was a long time.
It was.
What were your impressions of the last time we saw a series in London? And it looks like the players are having a good time. They're building in a lot of activities during that time off. What did you think when they decided to resume this? And also the process that you have to go through as players to get through this and also play a division rival. It's got to be pretty interesting.
It's interesting for the Cubs. Obviously, the Cardinals are like, oh my gosh, we feel like we're doggy paddling the whole season. But it's interesting for the Cubs because they're hot right now. And the best way to cool off a team is to send them a couple time zones away, 7 or 8 hour flight to a stadium that we don't know how it's going to play. They moved center field back, but last time they were there, a team that struggles a little bit, now you're going to a stadium where it's like, these balls are going to be flying out of the park. We don't know what we're playing. We're playing on turf. We're used to playing on grass, all this stuff. There's a lot. Like, you don't have time for fish and chips. The Cubs, they need to keep winning because if they start a downward spiral, they're going to start trading.
Yeah, I think this is good for the Cardinals. Get away from where they've been. Get outside of America. Go out there. Maybe it kickstarts their little second half kind of push here. But, man.
They're London's team. Maybe they're London's team.
Yeah, just like the Reds are America's team.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Cubs, man, if you're hot, you want to keep rolling. So
yeah.
We'll see how the field plays. I thought it was pretty cool how the dirt got laid out. I think that's very fascinating for young minds to watch that.
Yeah, I know the Cubs are sending Justin Steele and Marcus Stroman to the mound. Stroman had, at least at the last time of his start after it concluded, the National League's best ERA. But I do wonder about the Cardinals because as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, are they a team maybe saying they're not out of it? They think they've got to be buyers again, be really aggressive, knowing how close that NL Central is and knowing that they could make some noise. It's got to be tempting for every team in that division.
Yeah, I mean, they're 10 games out. I mean, it's they're on an uphill battle right now, but you can never count them out. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. I mean, they have the hitters. It's the pitching that always makes me nervous over there. So for them, it's go time now. And if it has to start in London, it's going to have to start in London because now you're facing the Cubs, a rivalry in the same division. It's battle mode time, win at all costs for them, or it's going to be a lost season.
I hope Scott's listening to this because I'm finally off the Cardinals train. Like I was there, the lineup's there, but if you're constantly needing to come back because your pitching just can't keep the other team off the board, July becomes really long and you're already 10 games back and your lineup's like, okay, we have to do this. And anytime you're pressing the lineup, it's bad news. So this is, I think the season's over. They need to think about trading some dudes.
Oof. Yeah, that is especially after the offseason they had and spending so much money getting a guy like Wilson Contreras, they're in a real pickle, to say the absolute least, I feel like. And as far as the Cubs are concerned, I'm still trying to figure out if they're going to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline when you consider, again, how close that division race is, just what you're supposed to do when you know that winning it could mean the playoffs.